Episode 430. The map was still randomly selected. Once both players accepted the match, they were immediately thrown onto the battlefield. Their characters appeared on opposite sides of the arena.
Oh, the vantage point is excellent.
The competition platform had a window, offering the players a perfect view of the holographic projection's full panorama. After admiring the view for a moment, Ye Shu's gaze returned to his computer screen. An operator can't rely on the holographic projection to control their character. The fixed viewpoint creates too many blind spots. At one end of the map, Du Ming's Blade Master charged forward. His pent-up frustration was ready to be unleashed in this match. It didn't matter who this challenger was, Du Ming wasn't going to hold back in the slightest.
He's here.
Kang Ru reminded Ye Shu.
Got it.
Ye Shu said this, but he was still scrolling through the character's equipment and skills. He'd already watched several battles. With Ye Shu's caliber, he'd pretty much estimated the battle mage's stats and skills. A quick glance now was just to confirm his earlier assessment. The map wasn't large. By the time Ye Shu finished his scan, Du Ming's Blade Master had already closed the distance, arriving right in front of him. Already at a full sprint, the Blade Master opened with a triple slash, hurtling toward Ye Shu's battle mage at an even greater speed. Tang Ru had seen this opening move many times before. It wasn't particularly difficult to deal with, but right now, Tang Ru was curious about how Ye Shu would handle it. The result was, Ye Shu hadn't dealt with it at all. When the first slash of triple slash came down, Ye Shu's battle mage didn't even flinch. The blade of light simply skimmed past his face, dealing no damage whatsoever. Du Ming's heart skipped a beat. He couldn't tell if this was a coincidence, or if his opponent had completely gauged the attack's range. If he had truly seen through the attack's range, then this was no coincidence. Ye Shu's battle mage had already taken a step diagonally to the right. Du Ming knew it instantly. At their current distance, this step placed him in a blind spot where the second strike of triple slash couldn't reach. And as he took that step, his battle spear rose, sweeping out in a diagonal sky strike. Du Ming was prepared for this. He immediately canceled his triple slash and hurriedly raised his guard, trying to block the sky strike. Only when Mouse brought his sword up to block did he realize the angle of this sky strike was fiendishly tricky. His parry probably wasn't going to hold. The sky strike landed true, lifting Du Ming's Blade Master into the air before his parrying sword could even arrive. It was just a brief moment at the start of the match. The live audience hadn't even gotten into it yet. But the pro players on the other side had already snapped to attention, their eyes wide. A single step, a single low-level sky strike, yet it perfectly exploited Du Ming's opening, delivering an unavoidable blow.
This guy's a real pro.
Many of them had already formed that thought in their minds, but to draw a conclusion based on just this one move would be a bit hasty. The professional players, their initial amusement gone, now watched with rapt attention. Even after being launched by the sky strike, Du Ming didn't lose his composure. He was taking this match very seriously, giving it his all. While launched, he swiftly adjusted his posture and immediately executed a silver light falling blade, forcibly wrenching his character back down to the ground. But the instant he landed, the space before him was empty. The battle mage had vanished. The entire audience saw it clearly. The moment the silver light fall landed, the battle mage had already circled around to his back, and among the professional players, those with the sharpest eyes noticed something more. That movement also avoided the Blade Master's line of sight in that instant. It was a maneuver Du Ming never even detected.
It's the vanishing step. Who the hell is this guy?
Shouts erupted from the crowd, and people were looking at each other in disbelief. 2 high-level moves in a row, and the pro players were once again convinced of this person's master-level skill. Everyone had now switched from watching the holographic projections on the field to the electronic broadcast screens. The holographic projections were certainly spectacular, but with fixed seating, your perspective was fixed too. The pro players, however, needed to assess this second challenger's strength from multiple angles. Du Ming was a pro, after all. The moment his silver light blade strike landed and he saw no one in front of him, he instantly deduced his opponent was behind. He rolled forward, spun 180 degrees, and unleashed a draw sword slash. The move was flawlessly executed, and the live audience was already poised to applaud. But then they saw the battle mage lunge forward at an angle, charging straight into the path of the draw sword slash's sword energy. Just as everyone thought he was certain to be wounded by the sword energy, they realized he had passed right through it. Seizing the opening during the Blade Master's post-strike stun, he closed the distance and unleashed a dragon tooth. The audience members who had been ready to applaud were frozen in place. To be honest, Yi Shu's earlier positioning with Sky Strike and Vanishing Step were far too subtle. At the average player's level, you simply couldn't grasp how impressive they were. But this time, the move was far more straightforward. Many players understood the principle. The battle mage was passing through the sword energy after the draw slash had already completed. At the moment he crossed through, the residual energy had already lost its damage judgment. But hitting that precise window is incredibly difficult. Go too early, and the attack's hitbox is still active. You'll get sliced. Go too late, and you'll avoid the slash. But you'll miss the brief stun window at the end of the move. The draw sword slash is a low-level skill, and its recovery stun is only a brief instant, a window you have to catch with near-perfect timing. Yet, against all odds, this challenger actually pulled it off. The Dragon Tooth strike landed, and the Blade Master didn't react at all. It wasn't that Du Ming didn't want to dodge. He was caught right in the middle of his stun animation. He simply couldn't move. This time, the brilliance of the move was no longer something only the pro players could see. But was it still just a moment for applause? The hands that had been raised to applaud Du Ming's Rising Dragon slash now hung frozen in midair. The challenger was putting on a brilliant show, no doubt about it. But his opponent was the home crowd's favorite, so the applause was rather stingy. Still, there were some who didn't care about any of that. They'd cheer loudly the moment they saw something exciting. Take Chen Guo, for example. She was no supporter of Samsara to begin with, and she knew it had to be Ye Shu fighting up there. So what was there to hold back for? Absolute support. When the Dragon Tooth connected, she was screaming and clapping, as if Du Ming had already been instantly killed. The Blade Master, hit by Dragon Tooth, was stunned once more. Ye Shu followed up with a Sky Strike, launching the swordsman into the air again. But this time, his Silver Light Fall was still on cooldown. He couldn't repeat his trick. He could only frantically adjust his camera angle, trying to see what his opponent would do next. But when he turned his view, there was no one there.
It's the Vanishing Step.
In that instant, Du Ming realized it too. He felt like crying. He was completely aware now. This was yet another incredibly tough opponent. What's going on with this challenge tournament? How are all these players showing up so powerful? And of all people, I'm the one who has to run into him? This guy who knows the Vanishing Step, he's definitely not some perverted newbie. He's probably a real expert player.